and a new press facility. A $2.5 million facelift. Finished just in time for ESPN2's Thunder. Tonight, we christen the new facility with the USAC Coors Light Silver Bullet Series. How about the '98 season finale at Gateway?
One more lap to go. Tracy Hines and J.J. Yaley are wheel to wheel as Ryan Newman watches from third position. And Yaley gets him into the first corner.
Yaley's a little bit sideways. He didn't have him yet.
Tracy Hines has the advantage. J.J. Yaley now tries the outside. He passed him. He passed him. Tracy Hines, what's he going to do? Go high or go low? He'll try to dive it off the corner and come low, probably.
Yaley's going to use a whole racetrack.
Here they are at the line. It's Yaley by a car length. Whoa.
What a great race.
J.J. Yaley wins the battle, but the war has gone to Jason Leffler, who now is the 1998 USAC Silver Crown champion.
Tonight on ESPN Speed World, it's the USAC Coors Light Silver Bullet Series featuring the Coca-Cola 100 live from Indianapolis Raceway Park. On the track right now, the cars for our first of 2 qualifying races as we take a look at the format. 2 laps of qualifying, the top 20 transfer to the 100-lap main event. Then 2 qualifying races, 15 laps in length. The top 5 will transfer. The feature paying $50,000 in purse money over 100 laps.
Well, this is going to be an exciting race. You have to finish in the top 5 in this transfer race in order to make the feature.
Well, starting on the pole in this particular race, a rather famous racing name, a second-generation driver, Dane Carter, will have the pole position. Dane, of course, the son of longtime racer Pancho Carter. Jack Hewitt, a 2-time champion of this division, the winningest driver in this division, starts outside the front row. Billy Peterball, another second-generation driver, and Brian Paulus will occupy the second row. In row 3 on the inside is veteran Bill Rose and Paul White outside in number 100. In row 4, it's Rebel Jackson, a veteran of the Super Modifieds, and second-generation driver Rick Tobias. Rick Treadway and Robin Bank occupy row 5. In the 6th row on the inside, it's John Heidenreich out of Pennsylvania and Steve Cerniak. And in row 7, it is J.J. Yaley. Now, that is a car to watch. We'll have an onboard camera. J.J., you saw him win at Gateway last year in that stirring last lap pass. However, they had mechanical problems. They did not get that car qualified.
He did not have a qualifying time, and here's why. They lost the clutch in his car. So what did they have to do? They had to pull the tank and the rear end out to replace it. They had lots of work to do.
Raleigh Helming there in the foreground, the chief mechanic on the Zarunian car. And there's a good look at J.J. Yaley, the youngster out of Phoenix, Arizona, spends his summers back here in Indianapolis, had a ride for last year's Indianapolis 500, did not have a ride for this year's race.
He really has his work cut out for him. He is starting back in row number 7 in 13th position. He has to pass at least 8 cars in only 15 laps. That's a huge task on this racetrack. If he can do it, though, he will make the feature event.
Keep in mind, these are the drivers that did not qualify in the top 20. Normally, we see that JJ's always one of the top qualifiers, so he may have a faster setup right now if the car is working.
Oh, absolutely. This car has been fast. It always has been fast with him driving it. But the trick is, by starting this far back without getting any kind of a qualifying time whatsoever, having to pass cars with a car that you haven't had a fast lap in all night, it could be difficult.
We should go green this time by a full night of racing from Indianapolis Raceway Park. On the pole, that bright car, number 48 of Dane Carter, leads them off the corner, has the veteran Jack Hewitt alongside, and Jack gets bumped from the rear.
You
Two or three cars got bumped.
Yeah, there was lots of things happening in there. It looked like the cars were a little loose. Looked like maybe they broke loose because the pavement is a little cool tonight. And when they did that, 2 or 3 cars got together.
Of course, the pavement was very clean this morning. We had overnight showers and thunderstorms in central Indiana. It cleared off by late morning. The sun came out. It's been very windy. And once again, up in front as they still dice for position back there. Oh, a half spin.
It looked like Rebel Jackson, who got a little bit sideways, got down in there. He just, he did not quite spin all the way out. He kept it going.
Look there, Jackson in the 110 car. a veteran of the Super Modified, was last year's Western States Super Modified champion. That car is very, very loose, Larry.
Very loose. It's the only Ford-powered car here. Most of these cars powered by Chevrolets. Meanwhile, back up front, that bright orange car, Dane Carter, hangs on to the lead, but just barely.
Well, if you've watched the Silver Bullet Series over the years, the number 48 car has belonged to Gary Urban. Gary actually leased this car to Pancho Carter. So this is Dane's first full season in the Silver Bullet Series.
Oh, and once again, down on the bottom, Rick Treadway in that 82 car, he got a little sideways, and Rebel Jackson once again gets very sideways, and again, everybody manages to miss it.
Up in front, still the battle, the top three, nose to tail on the racetrack.
Yeah, it's a couple of young guys up there with the
battle for that final transfer spot.
That's Ricky Treadway down on the inside. Brian Paulus on the outside. Treadway draws alongside in the middle of the corner, but cannot complete the pass.
So once again, the blue car on the high side in that 5th position. The red car is Treadway. His dad has to be pretty happy. Of course, he's the son of the man that owns the car that will start on the pole in next week's Indianapolis 500.
He certainly is. They did a great job out there today to qualify that thing for first place. But right now, Ricky's got nothing on his mind but getting into that transfer spot, and he does. He comes in there, gives him a bit of a slide job. Paulus had to get out of the throttle, and Treadway goes in the 5th and that final transfer spot.
So another young gun there in that 5th spot, but up in front, there's the battle for the lead. Billy Pudeval Jr. on the inside, that white number 80. That hot pink number 48 is Dane Carter, and here comes the wily old veteran. That is Jack Hewitt on the high side, the yellow 23. Jack has won 21 times in Silver Bullet competition. That is 7 more than Chuck Gurney. Yes, right now, he's not concerned about a feature when he's trying to transfer to the feature, and he makes a nice move on the inside.
Yeah, Dane Carter's pushing very badly off the corner, and he did just a perfect pass. He diamonded that car off, came across the bottom, and just blew on by. Maybe Pudeval learned from that. Maybe he can do the same thing.
Well, 7 laps to go. There is Dane Carter in 2nd position. The white number 80 is Billy Pudeval.
Yeah, Dane Carter, although he has that push coming off, Pudeval hasn't figured out quite yet how to get around him. But look at this. Treadway's not satisfied with 5th. He's going to try to move up. Yaley, though, he's moving up as well, trying to get up and challenge for that transfer spot.
Well, he got by Heidreich. Let's see where Yaley is on the racetrack and what position he is. Oh, very loose.
Yeah, that's Paul White. He gets all sideways as Treadway just gives him all kinds of trouble trying to get by him on the inside. Treadway, though, is being challenged on the outside by Paulus now that he loses that transfer spot.
Now it's still side by side for 5th position.
Right now, Paul White is running sideways. Both of those cars are faster than he is. Oh, he's going to... He
almost collected Paulus.
Man, he's got that right rear tire so hot, it's never going to cool down. He's going to lose another spot or two because he just got the right rear way too high.
Well, you're riding along with Yaley, who is tucked in behind Rose, the 41 car. And look at him sawing that steering wheel as he goes by Rose for a position. And he still has a shot. Look at this, a slide spin right in front of him. The yellow comes out.
And that...
22.
That was Brian Paulus. He had just passed and gotten into that transfer spot. And then as soon as he got into 5th spot, he spun right in front of Paul White. So
what a great view we had from the cockpit of number 67. You saw what the driver was looking at as the car started to spin in front of him.
And you can tell
11 good laps. We have 11 good laps and 4 laps to go. There is Paulus. He'll get a push off and resume the fray. So we still have 5 laps to go in this first transfer event.
I wasn't ready for it. They told me at Tractor Supply to come see what they changed in the store. Changed? They'd ripped out half the store and put it back new. They got more stuff in there for your shop, truck, your trailer, your everyday jobs than you ever thought possible. Those guys at Tractor Supply got a lot of Texas in them. When they do something, they do it in a big way. So if you've got 1 acre or 1,000, Tractor Supply Company now has more ways to help you get the job done.
Whether you're working out, working hard, or making changes, one thing is for certain. Centrum has your nutrition needs covered. With Centrum, you benefit from what science is discovering about how vitamins and minerals help maintain health, unlock energy, and strengthen immunity. Centrum, always complete from A to Zinc. And Centrum Kids' great new taste is making a splash with new fruit flavors kids love.
Working on my car more myself these days saves me money and keeps it running like I like. Performance is important to me, and that includes the cleanup. Scott shop towels on a roll give me the performance of cloth at a fraction of the cost of these. And Scott shop towels on a roll are so strong, I can use them again and again. So, no matter what it is you're working on, buy some Scott shop towels on a roll where you buy auto supplies. Performance of a cloth at a fraction of the cost.
Tonight's live coverage of the Coca-Cola 100 from Indianapolis Raceway Park is brought to you by Tractor Supply. Whether you have 1 acre or 1,000, Tractor Supply will help you get the job done. Under yellow, as we take a look at the top 5, only 5 will transfer. There is the veteran from Troy, Ohio, Jack Hewitt. Hewitt leads right now, and that youngster behind him is Dane Carter. Another second-generation driver, Billy Puteball, is in number 80. 4th is Rick Treadway, and 5th now is Paul White. We can tell you that J.J. Yaley is back there in the 6th position for this restart. As you take a look at why, Larry, we are under yellow.
Yes, as they were going into turn number 1, White was following Paulus. Paulus just got in too hot and too low. He got sideways. You can see the Yaley got by on the outside. So did White. He went down into the infield out of everybody's way. But you can see right there that both of those cars trying to outdrag each other into the corner. Both of them got sideways. White got his car gathered up, but Paulus could not, and he ended up in the infield.
4 laps to go in this 15-lapper. And keep an eye on that red, white, and blue number 67, because on the restart, J.J. Yaley is back there in 6th position, must move up 1 spot.
Yeah, they do. Oh, Treadway's got trouble. I wondered why there was such a wide disparity in the restart. Nobody was closed up, and it was because Treadway is stopped down there, and it looks like Billy Rose also up against the fence.
So we have a real problem over there in the 4th turn area. That is the entrance to the 4th turn. That is Bill Rose up there in that blue 41.
That's a tough break for Bill Rose. He's been running pretty well in that car, but looks like he's unbuckling his helmet, so it'll probably end his
Well, it's tough
night.
for Treadway, too, because he had a transfer position. Now, if he can get restarted, he goes to the back of the pack with really not much of an opportunity to make his way up to the top 5 in the 4 laps we have remaining.
And you can see the flat right front tire on Bill Rose's car. That car, that's a tough break for him. Bob Bowen owns that car out of Terre Haute, Indiana. They've had a little trouble getting it going as quickly as they wanted. It looked like they might have a chance to make the feature tonight, but it's going to end his night up against the fence.
Well, here's a look at Rick Treadway, a graduate of the local midget racing around central Indiana. And so it looks like he is waiting for a push-off. So we still have 4 laps to go in the first of 2 qualifying heat races here as we come to you live on the Deuce from Indianapolis Raceway Park.
Are you tired of waiting for monthly car magazines? Don't wait. Get Auto Week. Start Auto Week racing to you every week. For a true car lover, once a month is not enough. Don't wait for racing coverage. Auto Week covers it all. NASCAR, kart, Formula One, sports cars, the IRL, and brings it to you first. Behind the scenes as well as on the track, just days after the race. Don't wait for the fastest road tests. Auto Week drives every new car, truck, SUV, and van, and tells you about them first, as only a weekly can. For a true car lover, once a month is not enough. Don't wait for auto shows, trends and insights, personalities, and special features. Call 1-800-232-1502 for 52 weeks of Auto Week at our absolute lowest price, just $19.95. Save over $100 off the cover price. You've thought about it. Stop waiting. Call 1-800-232-1502 now for Auto Week. Don't wait for monthly car magazines. Get Auto Week every week. Once a month is not enough.
There's a man who lives across the alley. I watch him from my window. I fear his knowledge is bigger than mine. I must must watch more RPM tonight. I must watch more RPM tonight.
At the other big track, not far from where we are this evening, they qualified 33 today. Bubble day tomorrow, weather permitting, at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. That's noon Eastern time on ESPN2. And of course, we'll wrap up with a 6 p.m. Eastern time show tomorrow on ESPN. Bubble day in Indianapolis. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. Part of the Go Network, go.com. So you take a look at the Bill Rose, number 41, on the hook, as we can tell you once again that Ari Luyendyk has won his 3rd pole position of his career in his final race at Indianapolis. And for the 2nd straight year, Greg Ray will start in the middle of row 1. Billy Boat, a surprise there because Billy hit the wall twice this week for A.J. Foyt, but still found the speed.
Actually, he hit it again this morning, so he hit the wall 3 different times, came back after hitting the wall early this morning, fixed the car and went out and qualified 3rd quick. So he was a very happy man when that happened.
Well, and Tony Stewart, who is racing this evening in Charlotte, the Lowe's Motor Speedway, qualified for 24th starting position. It was a matter of taking a look at the weather and thinking, we can't wait till tomorrow. We've got to put it in. Whatever speed we can take, we'll take it.
Well, he didn't have any choice. He had to qualify. He drew an early number. He had to be on an airplane about 30 minutes after he qualified. So he was only going to get 1 shot today. So he took that. He does have a backup car should something happen. But he is well up the field to get bumped. So I don't think he's going to have trouble making the race.
Well, it's mentioned they were delayed this morning. Practice delayed, then qualifying because of overnight rain. There is a forecast for rain and showers, thunderstorms tomorrow. So that's why they filled the field today. And we can have a number of guys on the outside looking in if it does rain. Take a look at the top 5 so far in this race. Jack Hewitt, Dane Carter, Billy Peterball Jr., Paul White, and there's J.J. Yaley. By the misfortune of Rick Treadway, he moved up another position. He is in a transfer spot now, and that should be fun to watch him from the back of the pack in this 100-lapper.
Well, he's going to have a long way to go, and he moved up very quickly in this race, and I don't expect anything different in the 100-lap race. He will try to get up there as far as he can in this one, because the farther you get in this race, the fewer cars you're going to have to pass later on.
At the flag stand, we look at Wally Shear. He has the furled flag, indicating 1 more lap will turn them loose. Jack Hewitt out of Troy, Ohio. Here's a man that is 3rd on the all-time USAC win list in the sprint division. Still has a shot during his career to overhaul the 52 wins that Tom Bigelow has. On top of that, he's won more than anybody else in this division, a 2-time champion. But I tell you, this has not been a very good season for the man from Troy, Ohio. He's had some hard crashes. We talked earlier today. He said, I'm getting pretty old for those crashes. Stephen Cox joins us from the pit lane. Stephen?
Number 82, Rick Treadway, stuck in the pits. They lost the fire. They are looking for an electrical problem just behind the engine. In the meantime, Gary, the field is coming back to you. He's going to lose his top 5 position.
About a 3 or 4 car length advantage on the restart for Hewitt with 4 laps to go. So the battle right now is back here as you ride along with J.J. Yaley as he works on that steering wheel off the corner, down the backstretch. A great shot into the banking, the very slight banking of turn 3.
Yes, you can see that Paul White's very loose still. Even after all these slow laps, that car still is very loose in the back end. And he's going to heat that right rear tire up at this rate once again. And once the hotter it gets, see, he's looser already. And he's only been out there 2 laps. It just gets looser and looser. The tire gets hotter and hotter. The hotter it gets, the looser it gets.
But JJ has to pick his spot. So if he gets too loose, he doesn't collect JJ and take him out.
And look at John Heidenreich. He's right down there. That's Rebel Jackson on the outside in that other yellow car trying to go get by on the outside.
Well, you see 2 laps to go. The shot looking back into turn 1 as they work into turn 2. Off that corner, White still very loose. JJ looks to the inside. Again, he has to be very, very cautious going by because he knows how loose he is. There's a great look at the inside as Heidenreich makes a move in the 31 car. There's the white flag.
Heidenreich is really giving him everything he wants. He's all over J.J. Yaley. He doesn't want to breathe. Oh, look at this. Heidenreich's right beside him coming off a 2.
Well, the white flag is out. This is the last lap as JJ, you look back at his face, looks to the inside of Paul White, negotiating the 3rd corner. White still very loose, but here comes Heidenreich on the inside. Well, Heidenreich's going to be out of laps, though.
He's out of laps. Yaley hangs on for that 5th and final transfer spot. That was Rebel Jackson back there sideways behind him, and he couldn't transfer either.
Well, give a tip of the hat to the Raleigh Helmling crew that put that clutch back in that car. J.J. Yaley was also working on it as well, as you take a look at Jack Hewitt. So Jack takes the victory, did not qualify all that well, and that man right there, J.J. Yaley, has also transferred. So now we have 25 drivers will line up for the feature. 5 more to come out of the next qualifying race coming up next. Stay with us.
Have you been there? Where water and time find their canvas? Where dreams and flowers bloom? Where beyond each horizon lies another? The land offers an open, eternal invitation to roam, explore, wonder. There are amazing things here and there, which is why we try, in little ways, to protect it. Just something to think about the next time you need fuel.
Your car doesn't look, doesn't feel, doesn't smell brand new anymore. The thrill is gone. Get it back with new vinyl. New vinyl conditions, restores, and protects vinyl and leather. You get a protective finish and a showroom feel that's so real, you can smell it. Want it back? That new car feeling? It's yours with new vinyl.
There's nothing like new vinyl, available at Rite Aid, True Value, Ace Hardware, Walgreens, Pep Boys, and other leading stores.
Purchase a Wagner cordless power roller $9.49 and receive a free Wall Magic Accent roller kit. Get a Wagner cordless power roller $9.49 and free Wall Magic Accent kit today. Get a Wagner and get it done.
Meet Howard Johnson and his family. It's vacation time, so they stay at a hotel that has their name written all over it, where kids stay free and get free fun packs, all at a Howard Johnson kind of price. We've got a great name to live up to. Howard Johnson makes you feel at home.
Well, considering the popularity of the swimsuit issues, the Sports Center swimsuit calendar seemed like an idea whose time had come.
You've got to be kidding me. No, you're going to look sexy. It's going to look great. Yeah, well, no. You'll look sexy.
No.
It's a very sexy
No.
shot.
No. At all. No.
Gary Lee, along with Larry Rice and Stephen Cox, back live from Indianapolis Raceway Park. Top 5 transfer. You see Yaley did make the top 5. We can also show you those that did not transfer with 6th through 10th. Heidenreich gave it a good shot, as did Rebel Jackson. Then it was Rich Tobias, Brian Paulus, and Robin Bang. But the veteran from Troy, Ohio, looking for a 22nd career victory in the Silver Bullet Series. Let's go down to Victory Lane and Stephen Cox.
Well, Gary, the first thing I told Jack was, man, I love to watch you drive. Who doesn't? Congratulations. It looked to me like you were almost being held up when you were in 3rd position.
Well, you know, they got the jump on me, and Dane was going good at the beginning, and I just kind of had to ride it out for a little bit, and then their car got a little loose, and mine was pretty perfect. You know, Jack Stuck did a great job, and, you know, we just kind of bided our time a little bit, and then they got slower, and we got a little quicker.
Well, talk about the pass for the lead a little bit, because when you decided to take them, bang, you took both of them almost simultaneously.
Well, I think it's one of those deals, if you think about it, you're already in trouble. You know, when you see a little opening, and my car was working a little bit higher than those, and we just seen an opening, we took it, and it just made it look easy, but it really wasn't.
Well, that pass was beautiful. Very quickly, I know you were waiting and watching the Indianapolis Motor Speedway this year. What do you think? Is there still an opportunity tomorrow?
Well, I don't know. You know, it sounds like the weather's kind of bad, but, you know, if we don't get there this year, we were still there last year, and I think Tony George is doing the right thing, you know. Look at all the dirt track drivers or short track drivers that's there. His formula's working, and my hat's still off to him.
Well, Jack, thank you very much. A very quick question. Let's switch over here, JJ. You just made it. That was close. You had me worried.
Yeah, I was worried myself, you know, starting there in the back, and, you know, we didn't get any laps at all in practice there, so we just kind of guessed on the setup. We had to change a lot. We tested here last week, and the track was really slick. Today, the track's got a lot more rubber on it, so we just made a guess, and the car's pretty far off right now, but thankfully, we got the CarQuest Synergen car in the feature. We can make some adjustments, and hopefully we come from the back and hopefully do good in this deal.
And your clutch worked.
Yeah, the clutch worked. Everything worked. That was the best part. So we'll just have to start in the back. It's going to be difficult to pass, but as long as we can avoid the wrecks and just kind of pick our way through there, I think we have a chance.
Last time I talked to this guy, he had 2 wrenches in his hand, but he made it work. He's in the show, Gary.
Yeah, he was down there flailing about along with the rest of the crew. And you talk about patience, that's something that comes with a veteran driver. Jack Hewitt talked about the youngsters getting a good jump at the start, but he knew he had the car to do it. He was patient and won that first qualifier. Another one's coming up.
Pep Boys knows how to give you a great deal on tires. They don't run specials on just one size. Pep Boys discounts every size in stock. That means all 35,000-mile tires are 4 for $99. And all 70,000-mile tires are 4 for only $169. Even top-of-the-line 80,000-mile touring tires, all sizes 4 for $199. Call it a bonanza, an extravaganza. It's how you save on tires.
Pep Boys. Cars like us. People love us.
In the world of crime,
Let's do it.
they were the best.
This is big enough, man.
It's never big enough.
But now,
You want to get him or not?
He's not gettable.
they've met their match.
Do I have your attention now?
Undivided.
You change partners, you change rules. Sean Connery,
You're playing both sides.
Catherine Zeta-Jones, and Bing Rames. Entrapment. Rated PG-13. The trap is set. Now playing.
We're all a part of the Circuit City customer service team. From the minute you walk in the door, our goal is to give you 100% customer service.
We want you to have the best shopping experience ever.
You'll find guaranteed low prices on the biggest names in car audio at Circuit City. All Pioneer, Kenwood, and Alpine car audio is on sale. And right now, buy one JBL subwoofer and you'll get one free. Like this 10-inch JBL subwoofer for just $89.99. Save on car audio today at Circuit City.
It's party time. Hot tubs everywhere will be overflowing. Make sure your deck can take the heat with Thompson's Wood Protector. For rain, sun, mildew, it's the most powerful Thompson's yet. Thompson's Wood Protector. It never takes a day off.
A triumph over everyday arthritis pain, made possible by Tylenol Arthritis Extended Relief. Even the newest arthritis prescription hasn't been proven to work better. Tylenol Arthritis.
Tomorrow is a big day for racing here on ESPN. The Busch Grand National First Union 200 from Nazareth at noon Eastern Time tomorrow. And for more information, log on to ESPN.com. Part of the Go Network, go.com. Well, before we get to tomorrow, we've got plenty of racing coming your way tonight. Live from Indianapolis Raceway Park, the second of two qualifiers for this evening's Coors Light Silver Bullet Coca-Cola 100. Jimmy McCune, little Irish Jimmy McCune on the pole. Bill Bowie will start outside. In the second row, Mike Ordway will line up next to the Chrysler-powered Todd Kane. In the third row, it's Tim Cox and second-generation driver up from Florida, Keith Butler. In row 4, Darrell Daugherty and Bill Tyler. Tyler down from Michigan. In the fifth row, it's Tom Cappy and Craig Dorey. And in row 6, Randy Bateman and Lauren Banks.
Yes, and actually the 54 car of Keith Butler had to go to the rear of the field because he had a push start, so he had to go to the rear of the field, and he'll have his work cut out for him to get back through.
And there is a look at the 75 car of Tom Kane, the Chrysler-powered Mopar here tonight. We've got some Mopar fans standing up with some billboards down there cheering for him.
Well, that is the car that Jimmy Sills has run for the last couple of years. Gary Stanton built that car with a Stanton engine, or with a Chrysler engine, and when Gary Stanton decided to get out of this type of racing, Todd Kane bought that car, and we know it's a great race car. He's pretty new to this division, and we'll see how he fares with this Mopar-powered car.
Well, and notice he didn't change the number or the color scheme.
Saves money that way.
As long as he doesn't ding it up. There, look on the inside is the 32 car of Mike Ordway. In the front row again, a youngster, Jimmy McCune, who is the winningest driver in the Neymars midget organization. Outside of a veteran wrench mechanic who's a pretty fair driver in his own right, Bill Bowie. Bowie's been around for a lot of years in midgets and also these silver bullet cars. As they work off the corner, we should get a green flag this time. Once again, the second of our two 15-lap qualifiers. Only the top 5 will transfer.
That was a great start. Side by side the first 3 or 4 rows back down. Oh, we got a couple of cars there getting a little squirrely coming off of turn 2. Everybody made it through there okay, though.
Jimmy McCune looks like he has the lead. There is Todd Kane in the Chrysler-powered vehicle. He's up there in 3rd position.
Yeah, he snuck through there pretty good. He did a nice job as some of those other cars got a little bit sideways coming off of turn 2. The 32 car of Ordway hanging on to 4th.
But Ordway has been very, very loose working off the corner. You see him getting very close to the outside wall that time. Yeah, he has a handful.
Yeah, you can tell. He runs a little bit higher down here, and that car is loose. He's been running that car a little bit loose the whole race. You cannot do that here. You've got to keep that right rear tire under you. If you get that right rear hot, you'll start doing like White did in the last race and get smoke in the right rear tire.
That is the battle for 3rd position. Most of these powered by small block Chevrolets. And again, he gets very high entering the corner.
He got high. He tried to go up there. He was going to try to go around the outside. Couldn't make it. He just turned it left and then diamond back to the bottom of the racetrack, but couldn't do it down there either.
Nice lead right now by Jimmy McCune. There's the gap back to second position. Look at the other third, fourth, and fifth right there in your same shot into turn 3, turn 4.
Yeah, those guys battling pretty hard back there. All those guys trying to get in that transfer spot. That's Tim Cox.
Bill Tyler in number 3, and that is the 5th and final transfer spot.
That's Tim.
That's 6th. Tyler's back in 6th position. Now he's going to look to the high side. Can he make the move? He's got the momentum. Can he make it stick? That was a gutsy move.
It certainly was. Coming off of that corner like that, Cox really was in the best place on the racetrack. But Tyler went up a little bit higher. Since they've changed the configuration of this racetrack, that high groove out there is not nearly as good as it used to be. It used to be the fastest way around, but anymore, it's pretty tough to make a race car work up there.
He's going to try to make it work again. Now, this is probably one of the older cars in the field this evening.
Well, you can tell by the nose on that car that it's an older car. It's an older design. But Bill Tyler's been around for a long, long time. He's worked on these things. He's done a lot of work on this car in particular and changed a lot of things around on it.
There's a pass for second position. Almost contact. There was contact. Contact between 75 and the Bowie number 78.
Yeah, and you can see that when he made that contact, it looked like he stripped. Something happened in the back end of the car. The back end of the car is dragging. That's why all the sparks were flying there. Whatever happened there, I don't know. It looks like there's another car stopped on the racetrack as well.
Looks like there was more damage because of all the sparks than perhaps what we can see right there. 6 good laps now complete, and this will nullify that huge straightaway lead that Jimmy McCune had built up. Now let's take another look, Larry.
Yeah, it looks like he just got under Bill Bowie and was going pretty good. Then he slipped up. He hit the right rear onto the left front of Bill Bowie, and when he did, he broke something in the suspension. That car dropped down and right on the racetrack. That's where all the sparks came from. But he made a pretty good contact. Looked like he got loose, and Bill Bowie tried to turn down all at the same time.
Low angle look. He's already coming around right there.
Yeah, you can see everybody else back there did a great job of missing him because he certainly spun right in front of a whole crowd of cars.
Well, so once again, 6 laps are now completed of this 15-lap qualifier. We'll transfer 5 to our main event, and that's where the yellow is out. Good crowd on hand this evening. Brand new grandstand here at Indianapolis Raceway Park.
When precision, quality, and speed count, depend on Craftsman. When you need the power of a wrench with the speed of a ratchet, reach for the Craftsman Quick Wrench. The Craftsman Quick Wrench's unique open-end design lets you ratchet around fasteners. There's no need to reposition. Every quick wrench is up to 30% longer than conventional wrenches. That means extra leverage, more torque, and extended reach for tight spaces. Like other Craftsman hand tools, the Quick Wrench is guaranteed forever. Craftsman makes anything possible.
You're feeling a lot of love right now.
They love me.
For that car insurance company that saved you some money. But when you run into trouble, will they still love you? Not. At Progressive, we give you incredible service that even those, expensive insurance companies can't touch. And people like our low prices so much, 60,000 drivers a week choose Progressive. So call Progressive now and see why all those other drivers are starting a, relationship with us.
They love me.
How fast do you have to go to qualify for the Indy 500? To find out, watch ESPN and ESPN2 all weekend. Live from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for 2 days of fast-paced qualifying action. Join our team coverage in a field of champions and rookies as they attempt to qualify for the greatest spectacle in racing, the Indianapolis 500. Tomorrow on ESPN and ESPN2. Did I qualify?
A great tradition reborn on ESPN2 Friday Night Fights. This week, Dale Brown takes on Sajjad Abdulaziz. Then the main event, Stephon Willett and Davey Hilton in a 12-round bout. Friday Night Fights, Friday at 9 on ESPN2.
Earlier this evening, 2 pillars of the USAC community were honored for their long-time service to motorsports and the United States Auto Club. There on the right is Reynold McDonald, a former president and a member of the USAC Board of Directors. He was receiving a special recognition award. To the left, that is the former president of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, former president of Daytona. That is John Cooper, and he received the special award.
Yeah, upcoming thunder, the Tyson 50 at Anderson Speedway in Anderson, Indiana. The time change, it will be on at midnight Eastern time this Wednesday.
So we remain under yellow I wanted to mention that special award that went to John Cooper was in recognition of a longtime USAC director of competition.
Yes, Roger McCluskey. He was that was a special award in his memory that he got, so it was a great award for him to get. And he even mentioned in his little talk afterwards how much he respected, and I think everybody did, Roger McCluskey.
Of course, Roger was a USAC sprint car champion during his driving career. He was a USAC stock car champion. He was a 1973 USAC national champion. Later, Roger became the director of competition and a man that was greatly respected by the fans as well as the participants. So the furl flag has been displayed, Larry Rice. We should have a green the next time by. What started out to be a very blustery and rainy day has turned out to be a somewhat humid but dry evening here in central Indiana. Jimmy McCune had that big straightaway advantage before the yellow came out over Bill Bowie. Mike Ordway now is in third. Bill Tyler and Tim Cox in the final two transfer positions.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. We had positions 2 through about 7 nose to tail before that yellow flag came out. We'll see if anybody can get any kind of an advantage by cooling their tires off.
You look back there at that number 3 car of Tyler, again a car that is in 4th position. Now, that car must be, what, you say 20 years old maybe?
It appears to be. You know, it could be that they just put an older body on it, but it looks to me like a very old race car that they've tried to fix up. And you can see that he's got the right front wheel and that thing sticking way out.
That's Cox back there in the 5th and final transfer spot. And there's really no challenge for that 5th spot. There's a gap between 5th and 6th of about 8 to 10 car lengths.
Yeah, Keith Butler has moved up from last position. Remember, he did have to start in last because he was push started. So he's moved into 6th spot now. So he might be on a charge up there to challenge these top 5 positions.
Of course, he's a second-generation driver. He gets a chance to race against his dad, Stan, on several occasions down in the Tampa Bay area. Here's a move for 2nd position.
Ordway tried. He got down on the inside, but once he got down there, the back end got loose. He had to get out of the throttle. Now then, Tim Cox looks to the bottom side, and he also has to fall back in line.
Well, let's go down and check in on what the problem was with car number 75, Stephen.
Thanks, Gary. Todd Kane going from 3rd place to 2nd, and you got caught up in a mess. May not have been of your own making. What's your take on it?
I think it was just maybe, I guess, you know, I mean, a racing accident. You know, maybe I should have maybe sat back and maybe, you know, I mean, finished 3rd. But look at the 2nd place guy. You know, I mean, he's getting real loose in the corners, and so I kind of stuck my nose in there, and maybe I should have waited to the feature.
Thanks, Todd.
Thanks.
Well, as you look once again, there's that gap, Larry, between 1st and 2nd. So McCune certainly has this field covered. So they found something perhaps when they made a chassis adjustment after his qualification effort.
Yeah, it looks like they have got that thing going a lot better than it was earlier in the evening. But still, he's run away from Bill Bowie, who's in that red car right there. He's had a lot of trouble with that car earlier in the year. They've blown a couple engines, so I think he's very happy to see that thing running the way it is right now.
Look there at Tim Cox as we're working on lap number 12, about to be completed by your leader, Jimmy McCune, in the white 36 into turn 1. There's that red and white 78 of Bill Bowie back there in 2nd position. The best battle has been for 2nd because Ordway keeps sticking his nose down low in that red and white 32.
Yes, and Brian Tyler, his brother Bill Tyler back there in 4th spot, still very close to that 3rd position. He hasn't really stuck his nose in there and made an effort to get that position away from Ordway, though, recently.
Well, we'll see the white flag the next time by, so I think that Keith Butler will run out of laps and try to make that back of the pack charge to 5th position that we saw executed the 1st round by J.J. Yaley.
Yeah, Tim Cox has fallen back, but it looks like Jimmy McCune is going to be an easy winner in this event.
So the Irishman with a straightaway advantage taking the white flag. And it's status quo as you take a look at Bill Bowie there in that red car number 78. The red and white or the maroon and white 32 of Ordway rides to the 3rd position. And it's Tim Cox. And then the yellow and blue of Tyler. And off the corner, we'll look for the checkered flag for Jimmy McCune. And they finish in that order. So those 5 will transfer and start in the outside rows. In rows 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So it's one thing to win the qualifier, but that still makes for a long evening when you go from near the back of the pack. So it should be interesting because, of course, we'll have a camera on board the Zarunian number 67. So I'm sure J.J. Yaley will give us some great views over 100 laps.
A little drop of water. What could it do to your car's finish? Plenty. Unless you use Rain-X Ultra Wax. With the same super water-repelling action you get in Rain-X for windshields, it's easy to use. It makes water bead right up and roll right off, so it can't magnify the sun's harmful UV rays or form those nasty water spots. So use new Rain-X Ultra Wax. Nothing sticks but the shine.
Today there are over 300 red roof ends. We've renovated our rooms, brighter colors, better fixtures, but kept our rates as affordable as ever. How do we do it? Cheap commercials. Call 1-800-THE-ROOF and save money like you mean it.
Never had one of these before.
No, don't.
Ladies. Don't worry. There's plenty of beef and spice to go around.
Not bad.
Step into a Slim Jim.
Eat me. Today's cars brake better than ever, but it's up to your tires to translate these advances into stopping power on the road. The Firestone FT70C uses Unity technology to help your car stop when the rain starts. So if you're not driving on FT70C tires with Unity, what's stopping you? The Firestone FT70C with Unity Ultimate Tire Technology, built to stop in the wet.
Buy 4 Firestone tires with Unity and get a $35 gift certificate from Target stores.
Father Rick, this is Peter Gammons calling you about the letter. I did not have the time or the lack of decency to ask Tony Gwynn to send you the kidney stone he passed in '97. But thanks for reading my column.
Once again, the top 5 transfer to the 100-lap Coca-Cola feature here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. The Irishman Jimmy McCune taking the victory over Bill Bowie, Mike Ordway, Bill Tyler, and Tim Cox rounding out the top 5. Well, let's hear from the Irishman. Stephen?
Thanks, Gary. We were just joking. I said, Jimmy, you made this thing look easy. And he said, it wasn't easy. It was a killer. What was the matter?
We just got progressively loose. The car started out real well. You know, our new engine program with Kistler Racing Engines has really stepped our program up. We went to 2 races prior to this and blew up in hot laps both times. And, you know, we've stepped the program up a little bit, and we screwed up a little bit in qualifying, didn't get any test time. But I think we got something to work with in the future.
Well, you've got a little time to work with this, too. Not a lot, but some. Now, what do you do to tighten the car up? Is it a stagger thing first, or what do you look at?
It's probably a stagger thing. I hadn't got a chance to see what the tires came in at, but hopefully that's what it was, and we can make a couple changes and be fast for the main.
If you can be faster for the main, you've got some really tough guys in front of you. How much confidence do you have in this setup now?
The biggest thing I'm looking forward to is laps right now. This will be the first time we've made the show with this new race car, so the biggest thing we need to do is get in there, get them 100 laps, and see if we can come out with the top 10.
You made it in a big way. Thanks.
Thank you.
So, future race drivers playing here in the infield at Indianapolis Raceway Park. A brand new facility that all the fans are enjoying. We're certainly enjoying the press facility. Well, if you saw our first Thunder show, you know that Louisville Motor Speedway is a tight, racy joint. And last weekend, the MCI WorldCom USAC Midgets paid a visit to the Kentucky Oval.
Unlike our Thunder earlier in the month, last Saturday was a beautiful spring day in the Bluegrass State. Brian Gerst, who won that night in a sprint car, was the fast qualifier for the midget cars. The biggest pileup of the evening occurred at the start of heat race number 2, when half the 8-car field ended up near the turn 1 wall. Fortunately, everyone was able to continue. The start of the 30-lap feature wasn't much smoother as the purple 90 of Ricky Shelton tangled with the number 75 of Tony Ave in turn 1. Several other cars were collected, including the 58 of Sarah McCune, whose stop car got tagged by John Herb. On the restart, pole sitter Eddie Carpenter, the stepson of Indianapolis Motor Speedway president Tony George, entered the first turn alongside Ryan Newman. Newman was racing third when he touched wheels with defending series champion Jason Leffler in turn 3. Both drivers continued, but would not contend for the win. While Carpenter was leading, Gerster was making a charge through the field. Here he passes Jerry Coons Jr. for second with 9 laps remaining. Gerster ran out of time as Carpenter led all 30 laps to pick up his first career USAC National Midget Car win. Leffler and Newman finished 7th and 11th respectively and remain 1-2 in the point standings, followed by Gerster, Carpenter, and Shelton.
Well, it's a busy week for USAC competition. It is indeed the month of May here in Indianapolis, and of course the MCI WorldCom USAC midget cars at Kokomo Speedway, a tight quarter-mile bull ring in Kokomo, Indiana tomorrow. Then Wednesday, hey, we're going to be at Anderson, Larry, for the USAC Stoops Freightliner sprint cars. And then Wednesday, Speedrome midgets at Indianapolis.
Yeah, it is going to be a busy week. Thursday, the MCI WorldCom USAC Midget Cars at the 16th Street Speedway here in Indianapolis. Friday, USAC Coors Silver Bullet Series from the Indiana State Fairgrounds. And Saturday, back here at Indianapolis Raceway Park for the annual Night Before the 500, live at 8:30.
And don't forget Sunday as we wrap up this long week. The Stoops Freightliner Sprint Cars at the high-banked half-mile Eldora Speedway in Rossburg, Ohio. I tell you what, if you can't get enough racing this week, high-bank tracks, flat tracks, pavement, dirt, and of course we got this big race coming up a week from tomorrow at that big track at 16th and Georgetown Road. So we're going to line up 30 cars for 100 laps. Stay with us.
It's about a vision for moving earth, goods, even children better, more safely. Backed by people driven to exceed your expectations. Come ride with a leader that's taking a new road. International, delivering beyond the expected.
There are at least 100 questions every home buyer should ask. Like, how much down payment do I need? Can I buy a $200,000 home with an FHA loan? Do I really need homeowner's insurance? Luckily, HUD's FHA has the answers. We've helped 25 million Americans buy a home. Call for our free brochure.
For everyone who'd rather do it themselves. For these magnificent do-it-yourselfers, we make the versatile line of Wagner Power Painters. With power to handle today's thicker one-coat latex paints. An attachment that draws paint right from the can to paint straight up or down. And simple electronic settings to spray as wide or as narrow as this, which makes you more incredible than ever. If it needs painting, staining, or sealing, the choice is easy. Get a Wagner and get it done.
Transmission.
Is that bad?
If you're not asking for a Winds transmission flush, you're asking for trouble.
That's good.
Winds, for longer life and better performance. Call for the Winds dealer nearest you.
Well, of course, the Silver Bullet Series with the origin on the mild dirt tracks of the country many, many years ago. Now, really, it is the springboard of choice to go into the IRL, to the trucks, to NASCAR Winston Cup. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Lee alongside a two-time champion from this division, Larry Rice. 48 cars show up this evening. We've seen some great competition, but two favorites are missing.
Well, Mike Bliss ran the trucks, of course, this afternoon in Missouri. And David Steele was hurt earlier this week trying to qualify or trying to practice for the Indianapolis 500. He was so sore he could barely drive his passenger car, and he opted not to run here tonight.
Well, of course, the defending champion of this division is Jason Leffler. Now, you would think a champion gets a little respect. Not so. He has had a world of problems this evening, and it all started as we take a look at some highlights from practice and also from qualifying earlier this evening at Indianapolis Raceway Park. In fact, in the practice session, he was about to make a move down the backstretch, moving into the third turn, and watch what happens. He's on board with our camera, and he gets tagged right there.
Boy, it was a tough break. Somebody was trying to pull into the pit area. They didn't see him, and he got down into the grass. But later, his luck got worse. He blew the engine in his car, but he had to get into David Steele's car. Lucky for him, David Steele wasn't here. He did make the race.
Former Western States midget champion on board this Silver Bullet, and that is Jay Drake. No contact, no harm to that car, but look at this. It was a brake line. They thought it was an engine problem. Was not that serious for Robbie Flock. And now in qualifying, That's Rick Tobias, Dick Tobias' son. A little problem there, and more of a problem for Tom Caffey, as he could not hang on, and he spins to a stop, but again, no damage. But the guy that had it all figured out is Ryan Newman, the Purdue University junior in engineering. Fast time. He'll start from the pole position, an average of over 118 miles an hour. Take a look at your top 20 in qualifying. Gary Heber from Langhorne, Pennsylvania is second. Former champion Dave Darwin was third. That was Doug Darrow. That was, of course, a veteran from the Super Modifieds. Tracy Hines, who is just on a tear so far this month, won a sprint car race at Terre Haute about a week ago. Then it's Jimmy Sills, a three-time champion of this division. Russ Gamester, Tony Elliott, Pat Abald, and Brad Knopfinger. In the second 10, as we take a look at those that started through qualifying without racing through the heats, Jay Drake came back from that slide in practice to qualify 11th. There's Derek Davison. Jason Leffler in an unfamiliar car qualifies in 13th position. Brian Tyler, then Kip Baird, Jason McCord, Chet Phillip, Bentley Warren, Kenny Hamilton, and Robbie Flock. And Stephen, you're with our fast qualifier.
Ryan Newman right here. This guy set the track on fire. Only about 1/10 off the track record set by Jim Keeker back in 1995. Congratulations. Now, see, Ryan, it's a live show. Nobody can cheat and steal your notes, so give me the truth. How do you do it?
Just be smooth. I mean, IRP is a great surface, and it's fun to be back here with the Silver Bullet Series. And, you know, it takes a smooth race car, a smooth driver, and, you know, a smooth engine package to be able to go out there and put a smooth lap together. So we got it, and we'll start from the front and see how things go for the race.
Now, what's the strategy here? I mean, we're longer than a sprint race. You can't just nail your foot to the floor. You got to be concerned about right rear tires, maybe?
Well, Dan Dryden and I got a pretty good setup book, and we go through things, and we make our baseline setup for middle of the race. So hopefully between the first part of the race and the last part of the race, the car will be decent. In the middle of the race is where we'll excel, and you know, it only takes one lap to lead. We don't have to lead them all, and to be able to start up front, that's a big advantage, yes, but you got to be there for the end.
Last time you and I talked, we were all the way out at Pikes Peak International Raceway in Colorado. You were thinking about a kart ride, but I know some new opportunities have come your way since then.
Oh, we're just, my goal since I've been a young boy has always been to do stock car racing, and it continues to be, and you know, we're just got to work and continue, like anybody else out here has to continue to strive for their goals, and we're making, you know, not commitments, but you know, a lot of talk with Gordon Evernham Motorsports and some other series, and just
we will look forward to seeing. Here's a guy that's going places in racing, Gary. I got to hang around him more.
Well, you know, he is driving for the same team that won the championship with a driver named Jeff Gordon back in 1991. So he is surrounded by some good people, and he'll start from the pole position as they're lining the cars up in the pit lane here at IRP.
What kind of rooms you got?
King size.
You got room service?
Donuts and coffee.
Got entertainment?
All rooms have every movie ever made in every language, anytime, day or night.
How is that possible?
Could your business use the bandwidth to change everything? Ride the light. Quest.
He's pressed for time, but he's still gonna get a great shine. Introducing new Turtle Wax Express Shine Liquid Car Wax. Just wipe on, there's no buffing. The rich Carnauba formula gives you hard shell protection and breakthrough shine in no time. Great for all finishes, clear coats too. Turtle Wax Express Shine, spray or new liquid. And for vinyl and rubber, get Formula 2001, the super protectant.
We're all a part of the Circuit City customer service team. From the minute you walk in the door, our goal is to give you 100% customer service.
We want you to have the best shopping experience ever.
You'll find guaranteed low prices on the biggest names in car audio at Circuit City. All Pioneer, Kenwood, and Alpine car audio is on sale. And right now, buy one JBL subwoofer and you'll get one free. Like this 10-inch JBL subwoofer for just $89.99. Save on car audio today at Circuit City.
Tonight's live coverage of the Coca-Cola 100 from Indianapolis Raceway Park is brought to you by CD Automotive Performance Products. And by Circuit City. Answers in every department, low prices all over the store. Well, it's been a tough night, as we indicated, Larry, for Jason Leffler, your defending Silver Bullet champion. He's also last year's midget champion, a two-time USAC midget champion, in fact, but they had to switch cars after they lost the engine at the pink Chevy gave up in the Beast chassis, so they moved over to the David Steele. And there's been a lot of question about what his future may hold. At one point, he was to have a test with Penske. So earlier this week, we had a chance to sit down and say, Jason, where are you headed?
You know, it'd be a Busch deal, and hopefully, you know, it'd be a couple-year Busch program, and then eventually evolve into Winston Cup, something like what Tony Stewart did. And you know, we're going to do our first test June 1st at Greenville Pickens, so something I'm real excited about. This is the best available offer, and something that I feel that that I'm ready for. You know, I'm certainly not ready to go Winston Cup racing or even jump right into kart or something like that. But you know, I'm looking for a program that's going to grow with me, and it's somebody that's looking at taking some ups and downs. You know, because Busch Series is really, really competitive. And, you know, I haven't driven too many heavy race cars, so, you know, it's going to be a big step for me. Well, the Silver Crown Series is a great series. You know, it's the heaviest car of this type of race car, and long races, so you have to learn to conserve your tires and run the car straight and just manage everything, the whole car itself. But the midget probably teaches you more for, like, let's say, Indy cars, you know, IRL or kart. You know, they're real twitchy, real fast reacting. And out here at IRP, you know, you get some really fast speeds, and it's a good training ground. You know, I'd like to keep running the open wheel stuff when I'm available. Tony was real good at squeezing races in here and there, and it's a little harder for me to do that. But I would like the opportunity to run the Indy 500 one day, and maybe I can plan for it now and be ready next May.
And Jason's standing right here. Now, congratulations on your ride coming up, but I want to talk about tonight. You had a challenge just getting a car ready.
Yes, we did. Had some bad luck with the Team ASE Beast. Blew a motor up in practice, which, you know, it's unusual for us to have any kind of motor problems. And luckily, Johnny Vance had a car there, sitting there, and I'm running Dave Steele's car. It's unfortunate that it's available because he crashed there at the Speedway. So, you know, that car was available, and Johnny Vance, I really got to thank him and Fadia, and for giving me the chance. You know, I can get some points here tonight, and he just basically let us borrow the car, so hopefully we'll get up to the front.
And you're a guy that's going after a championship, too, just like Dave Steele.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like I said, it's unfortunate. George Snyder offered his car, too, and he had a spare car, but we went with Dave Steele's car. You know, it's always been fast, and just got to thank those guys, you know, and my whole crew. They took the car over, and everybody involved. Feel bad for all that people at ASC and all our sponsors, but that's racing.
Now, you and Dave aren't exactly the same size. You had a lot of work to do inside the cockpit.
Yeah, the seat was a little big. We're pretty close, but, you know, the steering wheel was a little far away. So after I qualified the car, we put my seat in it and spaced the seat up towards the steering wheel and stuff. I have a hard time fitting in any kind of race car, so it's tough being my size, but it has its advantage.
Well, we'll stuff you in with a shoehorn, and you get out there and go, man.
All right, thank you.
Interesting, the camaraderie in racing, because he is driving that 9 car that's actually owned by Tony Stewart Motorsports, and it was Tony that went to Joe Gibbs and said, you know, I've got this guy back in the Midwest who's really good. Give him a shot. And so often that happens in motorsports.
I think a lot of relationships are important in anything. I mean, any kind of business, but especially in motorsports. It's so hard to get ahead. It's so hard to get a shot at the big time. When you know somebody that's willing to give you that little boost, it really helps.
Well, of course, they're lined up in the pit lane. We're only a few minutes away from giving you the starting lineup, but what a great race as we give you a flashback about 3 years ago. Watch the finish here at IRP.
Let's see what Irwin does here on the last lap. He's going to be content to just stay where he is. Oh, a car
turning it all sideways or got something happen up there. He slowed way down, and look at this. Bliss is on the outside of him. He's got a chance to win this race.
He's going to make a race out of it. They come down to the line.
Oh, my goodness, they went through there side by side.
I think Bliss won.
When precision, quality, and speed count, depend on Craftsman. When you need the power of a wrench with the speed of a ratchet, reach for the Craftsman Quick Wrench. The Craftsman Quick Wrench's unique open-end design lets you ratchet around fasteners. There's no need to reposition. Every quick wrench is up to 30% longer than conventional wrenches. That means extra leverage, more torque, and extended reach for tight spaces. Like other Craftsman hand tools, the Quick Wrench is guaranteed forever. Craftsman makes anything possible.
Call 1-800-HAIR-CLUB right now for a free brochure. Your free hair, all you have to do is prepay for a basic club plan. That's it.
Can't believe you can slick it straight back and it still looks natural. I love it. I've never felt this good after a haircut.
You don't feel any difference in this hair, you know, any hair. And it still stays, see?
So call 1-800-HAIR-CLUB right now for a free brochure.
If you can't drive 55, then rev up your remote and ask for ESPN Classic today. Starting May 29th, ESPN Classic is coming at you with a rip-roaring weekend of macho men and mean machines. It's NASCAR weekend, so grab a can of Shasta and buckle up for safety, because this is going to be one wild and reckless road trip.
Side by side, wheel to wheel.
To get behind the wheel, call your cable operator or satellite provider today. Are you old school?
Well, going to break, you saw that stirring victory by Mike Bliss. In fact, Mike won the season opener this year at Orlando and was scheduled to be here this evening. There was a car ready for him. However, he got tied up racing trucks today.
Yeah, they had an airplane arranged to fly back, but I'm not sure whether the race ran too long or they had trouble with the weather, but for some reason he could not get aboard and come back to drive his True Value Terre Haute First and all the other sponsors that go with George Snyder's race cars.
Well, there's a look at the NASCAR trucks from the I-70 Speedway. Jack Sprague was victorious. We don't see Mike Bliss there in the top 5, but he certainly has found victory lane on several occasions in that division. As we indicated, this has really been a springboard of choice for drivers, because you talk about the two guys that we just saw. They're both in NASCAR racing, and Gordon came through this division. And here's a guy that's come through this division who would love to be out there racing this evening, but he's too darn sore with a case of racing rheumatism. Stephen?
Well, the question is, how did he get it? Now, Dave, I know you're very sore. I asked you tonight, how do you feel? And you said, not so good. What's up?
You know, obviously we had an accident earlier in the week at the Speedway and backed in the wall pretty hard, and it tore some muscles up in my chest. So nothing major, but it's really painful. So I just have to sit out a few races and see what happens.
I talked with your team at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway yesterday, and those guys are really behind you. But they said, man, you couldn't even get your helmet out of the bag.
Yeah, it's really tough, and you know, it's great that I got a bunch of good guys in Panther Racing, and they're behind me 100%. You know, but just try to get in the car, and I wouldn't be very effective, you know, here. And it's hard to come here tonight. We plan on running here tonight, but you know, it wouldn't be fair to my car owner to run, because I wouldn't be at 100%. So decided to sit out, and anyway, somebody else jumped in my car. So it's you know, kind of like watching another guy make out with your girlfriend.
Well, that can't be very easy, but thanks for talking to us, Dave.
Thank you.
You know, he's so honest, because how many drivers would tell you how really sore they are?
Well, obviously he doesn't feel very well, and we feel sorry for him. Another guy, Brandon Petty, he got injured in a sprint car accident this week, and he is out of the hospital now with a broken arm. We just want to wish him a quick recovery as well.
Well, you can see along the front straightaway, the field is now taking formation, so we'll have 30 cars for 100 laps. It is a big racing month. It is May in Indianapolis. Delighted to be here live on ESPN2 tonight from Raceway Park.
I've won my share of races, but I didn't do it alone. It takes a great team. And Slick 50 is a part of my team. I'm one of the millions of people who rely on it.
Now there's Slick 50 Synchron synthetic engine treatment with a 100,000-mile limited warranty and pour-and-drive convenience.
It's hard to beat Slick 50. I count on that.
Slick 50 Synchron synthetic, the next generation of engine treatments.
And for peak performance, use Slick 50 Synchron synthetic fuel system treatment.
Want to make painting easier? Change your roller to a Wagner cordless power roller. There's less mess, less hassle, and less bending over, because you control the flow of paint, so you can keep on rolling. Purchase a Wagner cordless power roller $9.49 and receive a free Wall Magic Accent roller kit, and turn your ordinary room into an extraordinary room. Pick up your Wagner cordless power roller $9.49 and free Wall Magic Accent kit today. Get a Wagner and get it done.
Here, boys, with Buckmaster from Radical, you can go deer hunting anytime.
How's that?
Well, it ain't hunting season.
It's the new deer hunting game from Radical. You know, them boys that created bass fishing. It's just like the real thing.
It ain't hunting season.
Ooh, there's some scrapes and rubs.
Radical puts everything in there. Wind directions, scent options, weather conditions, calls, droppings. But y'all better watch out for the bears.
Hey, I got a buck in my sight. Hey, this sucker kicks when you fire.
Oh, it's hunting season, man.
Buckmaster, the only real deer hunting experience any season. Get real. Get Radical.
The X Games. The only extreme event that matters. The X Games, June 27th to July 5th, only on ESPN and ESPN2.
Alongside Larry Rice, I'm Gary Lee, and covering the pit lane, Stephen Cox, as we come to you live from Indianapolis Raceway Park. You take a look at the beautiful new press facility, a new grandstand, some 3,500 seats. Well, Tracy Hines won at Terre Haute in a USAC sprint race, then strapped on the wing and took on the All-Stars in Ohio. Less than a week after winning his first USAC sprint car feature on dirt, Tracy Hines and the Willoughby crew strapped a wing on the Black 97 and headed off to Ohio to take a shot at the All-Star Sprint Circuit. A good crowd was on hand Friday at Attica for Chuck Ward Night, honoring the injured sprint car driver. At the start of the 40-lap feature, Californian Paul McMahon jumped from his pole position to the lead. Outside front row starter Donnie Gaydon had dropped McMahon to second when Jeff Shepard drove the silver #1 to the runner-up spot with 7 laps remaining. The very next lap, Shepard moved past Gaydon to the top spot for good, picking up his 3rd series win of the year. After making the feature the night before at Attica, Hines had trouble in the B on Saturday at Eldora when he tangled with Brian Ellenberger and missed the show by 2 spots. There was a family affair in the front row for the 30-lapper with Kenny Jacobs leading brother Dean at the start. Lap 9, the Brownsburg bullet Joey Saldana pulls the Eldora slide job on Byron Reed for 3rd that quickly becomes 2nd when Dean Jacobs drops out with motor problems. 9 laps to go. Dale Blaney back in the familiar 94 makes contact with McMahon, sending Blaney hard to the inside retaining wall. Dale was okay. On a late race restart, Saldana took his best shot at Jacobs, but the popular owner-driver held on to record his 18th career All-Star Eldora win. And there's a look at Tracy, who will start inside row 3, and he's one of the drivers that will likely vie for an extra bit of change this season.
Yes, Simpson Race Products is putting up $50,000 on September 18th to any driver that can win both the midget and the sprint car feature here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. To qualify for that, you have to win one of these races leading up to it, one of the 7 races leading up to that event on September 18th. $50,000 is a whole lot of money.
That's kind of nice, but you know, you don't really need to dangle money in front of a race driver. They just like to go out there and race. Let's take a look now at the starting lineup. 30 cars, 20 from qualifying, 10 from the qualifying heat races. Ryan Newman, your fast qualifier. Gary Heber will start outside the front row. In the second row, a former champion of this division, Dave Darwin, and Doug Dodaro out of the super modified ranks. There's Tracy Hines and 3-time champion Jimmy Sills in row 3. In the fourth row, Russ Gamester and Tony Elliott, the defending USAC sprint car champion. Pat Abel, Brad Knopfsinger occupy row 5. In the sixth row, it's Jay Drake and Derek Davidson. In the seventh row on the inside, there is your defending champion, Jason Leffler. Brian Tyler starts outside. Then it's Kip Beard and Jason McCord in row 8. In the ninth row, Chet Phillip and Bentley Warren. In row 10 on the inside, look at that, Kenny Hamilton, that's Davey's dad, and Robbie Flock. In row 11, Jack Hewitt, a 2-time champion of this division, and Jimmy McCune. Both those guys won the qualifiers. Dane Carter and Bill Bowie occupy row 12. The 13th row, Billy Peterbaugh Jr. and Mike Ordway. In the 14th row, it's Paul White and Bill Tyler. And in the 15th row, J.J. Yaley and Tim Cox. 100 laps. This will be a workout.
It certainly will. We're going to be riding along with J.J. Yaley and along with Jason Leffler. Leffler, remember, only has really 3 laps in this race car. He'd never driven it before he qualified it, and now then he's going to have to, he's changed all the setups, I'm sure, to so that he likes the race car a little better as far as the handling aspects. But it'll be interesting to see how he does, how he moves up.
Well, of course, the thing is, it is a beast chassis. That is what he is used to driving. Bob East is here. Bob went down, kind of set the chassis. So the car will be set up very, very close to what he was attempting to run in his own car this evening.
But still, every race car has its own characteristics, and they're going to have to get exactly the right setup on it for him to move up through this field.
Everybody on their feet. The green flag is out. The Coca-Cola 100 is underway here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. And the redhead from Langhorne, Pennsylvania gets the good jump off the corner. And they head down the backstretch. And now going back around the high side is Ryan Newman. So Newman was really asleep at the wheel at the start, but comes back around to lead lap number 1.
He came back very strong, took that lead back away. I don't think he liked it very much when Heber got that jump on him. And you can see on back in the field, there's a big gaggle of cars.
Well, the track record for 100 laps here, 42 minutes, 9 and 55 seconds, set back in 91 by Johnny Parsons.
Right. Here we're driving with Leffler. That's Jay Drake in the 6th car, the Ralph Potter-mobile right in front of him. Tried to get in under him going through turns 3 and 4, but had to fall back in behind him.
Now watch the steering wheel. Watch the movement of the steering wheel. We talked about a workout. Look how hard they're working in here on the pavement.
Yeah, you know, actually, he's not turning that wheel very much. He got through that corner pretty easily. And I think he'll try to do that, at least for the first part of the race. He doesn't want to get that right rear tire too hot very early.
Well, he just did right there.
Yeah, he did. He snuck down on the bottom of the racetrack. There's less banking on the bottom of the racetrack, so it's obviously going to be a little harder to pass down there.
Well, there's a look now at that shot that they put some move on the low side, going along the number 6. And Jay Drake about to lose a position.
Yeah, he snuck up by Jay Drake, and now then he's going to start working on Pat Abold in the
That's
28th.
his teammate.
That's exactly right. It is his teammate, so he wants to make sure he doesn't want to run into him, or his car won't be very happy.
Now, Johnny Vance, the car owner of these 2 blue cars. Johnny out of Dayton, Ohio, a second-generation car owner. Back to the front. There's that 5-car length advantage between Ryan Newman and Gary Heber.
All right, Heber's hanging right in there with him. And you can see that strung out just a little bit up here near the front of the field. They're able. It looks like he's trying to put a move right behind him. Jason Leffler trying to follow in his footsteps. Neither one of them can make the pass.
That was the number 40 of Brad Knopsinger up there. And then the 28. And then the number 2 car. You're right with Jason Leffler, a 2-time USAC midget champion. Got very close to the wall that time coming off the corner.
Boy, he sure did. He got awfully high. Brad Knopsinger in that black car leading that pack has been a chief mechanic down in the NASCAR ranks over the last several years. He was a sprint car driver prior to that, and he's always wanted to come back and run this series, and now that he's got the opportunity.
So once again, Ryan Newman continues to set the pace in the early laps.
That's Jay Drake in the 6 car. The 69 car, Brian Tyler, trying to get under him.
Well, Brian Tyler just today got an opportunity at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, but it looks like Mother Nature may have her way, and he won't get a chance to qualify tomorrow.
Now Tyler has made that pass, and he's moving up on those 2 blue cars, the teammates of Leffler and Abold, as we look back now at Brian Tyler in the 69 car.
Come off the corner, down the back straightaway into turn 3.
You can see he's gaining on him ever so slightly. It looks like right through the middle of the corner, he's a little bit quicker than Leffler is. I think Leffler's kind of settled back in there in that spot, decided just to run. Once Leffler tried that inside spot and he got that tire a little bit hot, he had to back off. He had to cool that tire back down, because if you don't do that, the thing will just get hotter and hotter, and this is a long race, 100 laps.
Well, and this is where a driver will say, a patient driver will say, let the race come back to me. Let's not overdrive the car this early. 100 laps is a very long race on a very big racetrack. Here's a battle for second position. That is Dave Darland. He was the champion of this series 2 years ago and has come a long way in his proficiency on pavement. He was recognized as a short track sprint car driver on dirt, but I'll tell you what, he's pretty good on these big tracks now.
They've done a lot of testing. They came out here and tested a couple of weeks ago. Galen Fox, chief mechanic, wrenches that car. He does a great job, and he was beginning to think that maybe Darland wasn't going to be able to do all that great on the pavement. They came out here and tested. They found out that they got the race car where he likes it, and obviously they've got him awfully close. He's really battling right now for second spot with Heber.
Of course, the more they battle for second, it really gives Ryan Newman a chance with the clean track in front of him to open up that gap a little more.
Well, right now, you've got to bide your time a little bit. As you said, 100 laps is a long way. I'm sure that Darland would love to get in the second spot, but he doesn't want to overheat his tire making that bid. He's going to have to bide his time, and if Newman gets out there a half a straightaway or so, that's not really that big a deal.
But Newman will have some traffic to contend with. as he now is going by some of the back markers. I think that's Tim Cox that he just left. There again is that look at second position. That is Gary Heber. That yellow and red number 66. The bright blue number 56 is Dave Darland.
Tracy Hines in that black car behind them. He's running in fourth position right now. As now once again it looks like Darland tries to sneak down to the inside. He did not have a good enough run on him to make that pass though.
And back at the front there is the number 14 of Ryan Newman. Now a half straightaway advantage as they go by Tim Cox as Cox stays to the low side. They move safely by in that higher groove.
Yeah, Ryan Newman has pulled out into a half a straightaway lead over those guys. They don't want to let him get too far ahead. I mean, I was thinking it wouldn't be too bad if he got a half straightaway, but he keeps stretching that thing out, and it could be big trouble for anybody trying to beat him if he gets much farther ahead.
Well, he gained 3 points for his fast qualification effort this evening, which ties him with Brian Tyler for second in the point standings. He's only 6 points now behind Dave Steele. Dave is a spectator this evening as there is a move to the inside, the battle for second. So a win here by Ryan Newman could give him the points lead this evening going into next Friday evening's dirt race of the Indiana Mile at the Indiana State Fairgrounds.
You can see Dave Darland is faster right now than Gary Heber. He's tried a couple of different times to get below him. Hasn't been able to do it, though, as we take a look at our leader in heavy traffic now right now as Newman goes by Tyler.
So he gingerly worked his way through traffic with almost a straightaway advantage right now. As you see one of the drivers looking on as we'll take a break and come back with more from Indianapolis Raceway Park.
In the world of crime,
let's do it.
They were the best.
This is big enough, man. It's never big enough.
But now,
You want to get him or not?
He's not gettable.
they met their match.
Do I have your attention now?
Undivided.
You change partners. You change rooms. Sean Connery.
You're playing both sides.
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Come on!
And Bing Rames. Entrapment. Rated PG-13. The trap is set. Now playing.
Hey!
What are you doing up here?
So, you've been using 10-10-3-2-1?
What? Oh, I keep forgetting about that.
Well, you should try to remember. You get 50% off calls over 10 minutes. Every day. Anytime.
Huh. Oh, I like that. But there's got to be a monthly fee, right?
Not with 10-10-3-2-1. Dial it, and you'll see the savings on your phone bill.
All right. I'll give it a try.
Cool. Hey! Get away from my car!
Just dial 10-10-3-2-1.
I'm hungry for those good things, baby. I'm hungry through and through. I'm hungry for that sweet life, baby, with a real fine grill like you.
Rust-resistant bodies, rock-solid frames, superior warranties, reliable ignition, and the best cooking systems on Earth. These are the beautiful grills, beautifully built by Charbroil.
I can almost taste it.
New grill guard, Steve? I like it.
Thanks, Sally. I got it at Pep Boys.
Hey, Sally, how about my chrome rims? Step bars, bug shield, tires, and wheels.
Hey, Sally, hear that? Performance exhaust.
Love your car? Save $3 with Pennzoil. Buy 12 quarts of Pennzoil, get $3 back instantly.
Hey, Sally! Sally!
Sally moved. Hey, nice tow hitch.
Pep Boys. Cars like us.
People love us.
Well, we are back. The Coca-Cola 100 under yellow as they complete lap number 21. To the right of your screen is the blue 56 of Dave Darland. To the left is the 111, the red car of Jimmy Sills. And it was Dave Darland, as we went away to break, battling for second position, and he's the one that triggered it. Dave in the blue car on the inside.
He gets down on the inside of Heber, getting into turn one, tried to get in there a little bit too hard. The back end just got away from him. He just got in way too hard. The back end came around. He slid up the racetrack. Hines barely gets through. Sills tried to follow him. He couldn't make it. He caught the back end, and there's heavy damage to both Sills and Dave Darland's car. Here once again, very flat down there. He got in way low, almost down on the yellow line. He just lost the back end. He just didn't have the room to make that pass. The thing started sliding back up the racetrack after it got half sideways right there. One car gets through, the second doesn't, and major damage to both Sills and Darland's.
It looked like he got off the brake and let the car roll up the racetrack.
Well, he may have thought that he was getting out of the way when in fact everybody had already moved to the top to try to get around him, and that's That's a tough break for Darlin and Sells both. Those cars were very, very strong. Those top 5 cars seem to be the class of the field, and now there's only 3 of them left.
23 laps complete. There is Dave Darlin taking the long walk back to the pit lane. There are 3-lap cars now between first and second under this yellow. As we take a look at the top 5, Ryan Newman, who has led from the pole position, is out in front. Gary Heber again with those 3-lap cars between those two. Tracy Hines just squeezing through, as you saw, is third. Doug Dodaro is now fourth, and Tony Elliott, your defending USAC Stoops Freightliner Sprint Car champion, now in the 5th position. There's a look at the M&L Plumbing number 14 of Ryan Newman as he has a chance to cool the tires and take a breather under yellow, working on lap 25 here at Indianapolis Raceway Park.
Your car doesn't look, doesn't feel, doesn't smell brand new anymore. The thrill is gone. Get it back with new vinyl. New vinyl conditions, restores, and protects vinyl and leather. You get a protective finish and a showroom feel that's so real, you can smell it. Want it back? That new car feeling? It's yours with new vinyl.
There's nothing like new vinyl, available at Rite Aid, True Value, Ace Hardware, Walgreens, Pep Boys, and other leading stores.
Working on my car more myself these days saves me money and keeps it running like I like. Performance is important to me, and that includes the cleanup. Scott shop towels on a roll give me the performance of cloth at a fraction of the cost of these. And Scott shop towels on a roll are so strong, I can use them again and again. So, no matter what it is you're working on, buy some Scott shop towels on a roll where you buy auto supplies. Performance of a cloth at a fraction of the cost.
Sometimes, after NHL tonight, I take my knowledge to a sports bar. There's always someone there who thinks his knowledge is the biggest. Then, I show them mine.
I don't think we'd lose a lap. Put a couple turns to the right rear, a couple turns there to the left.
Well, obviously the mic was not working. We were attempting to have a conversation with Dave Darlin as we come back live from Indianapolis Raceway Park. The cleanup just about finished as they're under yellow on lap 27. Well, last weekend, the NARC Sprint Cars were at the Silver Dollar Speedway in Chico, California for 2 days of racing. Although Friday's event was not NARC sanctioned, it showcased some series regulars and some darn good racing. In the feature, pole sitter Mark Ziske jumped out in front at the start, but before the first circle was complete, there was an incident involving Randy Hannigan and Todd Bammer. Watch the lower right as these two make contact, putting Hannigan into the wall. Hannigan did restart, but was a non-factor the rest of the way. On lap 6, 2 more cars share rubber as Tim Kading gets into the side of Jason Statler. Statler goes sliding, then gets airborne. Neither would return. Brent Kading and Ziske were battling for the lead on lap 9 when a stop car in turn 4 brought out the caution. Moments later, Ziske's left rear tire went flat, allowing Kading to take the lead and the victory. Saturday featured the NARC Dave Bradway Jr. Memorial Race. There was only one altercation as Terry Cox smacked the wall in the opening lap. There was very little drama after that as Kading dominated the remainder of the race. Friday's winner led every lap on his way to the checkered flag. Randy Tyner and Randy Hannigan finished second and third, respectively. Well, there's a look at your leader under yellow now on lap 29. Now I think we have that mic snafu fixed, and he has Dave Darlin. This is Stephen Cox.
Thanks, Gary. Boy, Dave had a really good race car tonight, but it all slipped away in 1 and 2. David, what happened?
Yeah, sure did. Like you said, we had a great car, and I was running third there following Gary Heber, and he picked up a push about 10 laps before the crash, and I was just trying to find a way around him. Finally did get a good run off of 4, and we drag raced down the main straightaway and into 1. And we was both just trying to go in there a little deeper than the other guy, and I just had to go in a little too low and got the car loose getting in, and then I didn't want to get into him, so I just kind of had to let the car come on around. And then when I did, I blocked the road for, I think Jimmy Seals got into me there after I'd spun out. So just one of them things. Was trying a little too hard too early.
Better luck next time, Dave.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it.
You know, Larry Rice, it's okay to out-brave somebody if you're in a good groove. If you're too low on the racetrack, you're going to lose it.
Well, that's exactly right. I think he made an error. I think he knows he made an error, but he'll just have to come back and not do that again next time around.
Well, as you see, the leader, Ryan Newman, picks up the throttle, and that is the Dane Carter. They're a lap car right behind him. In fact, well, there's only one lap car now, I guess, between first and second. And there is Tracy Hines going by the lap car of Tyler.
Yeah, he's got way down on the inside trying to get through those lap cars. All the guys running on second on back are behind some lap cars, and it's going to make it very difficult for them as they try to work their way through. We're working back here with Jason Leffler, who's running back in about 10th spot right now. He lost a couple of spots here in the last few laps.
Well, let's watch now. If we don't have a chance to watch Jason from the cockpit to see if he's working the steering wheel even anymore, to see if the handling is starting to go away from that race car.
And right here we see that's Tracy Hines. He just got around one of those lap cars, but that's Abold in that light blue car on the outside, and the 51 car, that's Russ Gamester. So those guys really having a battle. The Knopfsinger right in front, Gamester on the inside, and of course Leffler's who we're riding with.
Well, now let's watch Leffler's steering wheel and see if the handling has gone away at all on car number 2.
Well, it doesn't appear that it's gone away too much. He had to fall back in behind Knopfsinger, but he has gained a couple of spots. Tony Elliott's in the yellow car, 2 cars in front of him. It seems like he might have lost a spot or 2 as Tyler got around him on that restart.
You can see all the cars getting just a little loose coming off the corner. And look at this group of cars. And there he goes to the inside of Knopfsinger. Does not have room to make the pass.
Yeah, there's Tyler on the outside of him. I was wrong. I thought Tyler was in front of this group. He was behind Leffler, and that's Gamester also right behind him back there. So Gamester's fallen back a spot or 2 here on this restart as well.
That's Knopfsinger in the black car. As you go back on board with the CarQuest cage cam, that is Jason Leffler still looking for a path by on the inside.
Yeah, and that's Tyler up there in that blue and yellow car. He is a lapped vehicle, but right now Tony Elliott having trouble in that yellow car getting around him. Knopfsinger in the black car trying to, he's just following the lap car of Tyler, trying to find a way to get around both of them.
Now watch the steering wheel. All he is doing is really reacting to the rear of that race car. Every time he turns that wheel back to the right, he's catching the rear end because the rear end's getting loose.
Right. He mashes on the throttle as much as he dare. Every once in a while, he'll just break the back end loose a little bit, and he'll have to turn it back to the right. But really, that car seems to be working very well as he sets that steering wheel in motion going through the corner, and he doesn't steer it back and forth too much until he's coming off the corner.
Well, of course, Dave Steele in that car has led 27 laps this season. Coming into this race, Brian Tyler had led the most circuits at 29. And Mike Bliss, his victory down in Orlando in January, had led 23 of that event.
Now, Tyler in the 69 car tried to get under. He couldn't make that move either as everybody really bunched up. As we're taking a look at J.J. Yaley, as he's, after starting clear in the back of this field, he's right up there amongst them in this group.
Boy, that's tight, hold your breath racing right there, because one miscue, you're going to wipe out about 6 or 7 cars. It's kind of like the Talladega draft with a restrictor plate.
Exactly. They got about 12 or 14 cars in that huge group right there trying to get around Tyler. Now there looks like a couple of them have gotten by, and they're going to string on by him now.
Well, Tyler still works on the rear of that blue number 2 of Leffler. Jay Drake is in the pit lane for a second stop. He stopped under yellow, and now he's back in to change the right rear.
Yeah, it looks like he has had a couple of problems. He's been in that pit lane a couple of different times. It's going to kill any chance he had of winning this race. As Brian Tyler down on the inside of Leffler, this time he makes that thing stick right on that yellow line and does make the pass.
Well, right now this race is all Ryan Newman's. He led from the start. He gained the pole position, a straightaway advantage. There's the battle for second. Tracy Hines looking for a way around Gary Heber. And Heber's having a great ride. He's recognized for his expertise on dirt. Former winner of the Hoosier 100 at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. This is the best ride I've seen from him on pavement.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. He's got that car. He's got a little bit of a push. That's why he's slowing up a little bit off the corner, giving those guys this big run. But Tracy just hasn't been able to find a way around him yet. The danger for Tracy Hines is, number one, he doesn't know.
Contact right there.
Well, that's one of the dangers. You don't want to run into the guy. That's right. You don't want to run into him. He could spin both of you out. He doesn't want to get in under him like we saw Dave Darland do it just a minute ago. So he's got to pick his spots carefully and make sure he's got that pass made before he goes up there and does anything silly.
Well, you heard Dave Darland say in our interview with him that he knew Gary Heber was pushing. The car was not handling. A driver goes to school on the driver in front of him. Take 3 or 4 laps. Take a look at the car, know what the car is doing, and then go after it.
Well, see, what Heber does is he's pushing. He pushes up in the middle, then he gets the car kind of stopped right in the middle of the corner and turns it right to the left, right across the bottom of the racetrack. And right there, when he does that, right there exactly, is his slowest point, and that's where Tracy Hines keeps giving him a little bump right in the middle of the corner.
Tracy Hines began his career in Newcastle on a little bicycle, a BMX bicycle, went to quarter midgets before going to full-size midgets. Kind of watched his older brother, Ted Hines, win 3 speed roll midget championships. Of course, the son of Jim Hines, who was pretty proficient himself in midgets and sprint cars. That's certainly a racing family.
Yeah, Pat Abel in that blue car now, he's put himself into contention. And it looks like Tracy Hines is sitting back there just waiting for a couple laps. I think he's got that tire a little bit hot trying to go around Heber. So he's going to wait. If Heber keeps pushing the front end as badly as he is, that right front is going to go completely away before long. I don't think he can keep that thing underneath him for another 50 or 60 laps.
Tracy Hines working on him, though. It gave the 22 car of Abel a chance to get closer.
Exactly, and Abel is all over both of them right now. And you can see Hines, he's a little bit loose. He's got the right rear a little bit hot, and so now he wants to run that thing straight and just stay there for a couple laps until he gets that tire back under him.
This car, the 37 team, has won. In fact, that car won at DuPont a few years ago with Stevie Reeves on board. And now move to the inside in turn 3. He may have the pass made. No, he doesn't have enough room.
See right there, Abel, he's right behind both these guys wondering where the heck to go. But now then it looks like Tracy Hines might have that pass made because he's got the groove taken away from Heber. Heber can't make that dive down along the bottom. See how far left he had the wheels turned? He's got a really bad push in that car.
Now watch Tracy Hines pull away because sometimes battling for a position, the car in front can be holding up the car in back, which I think was the case. You're going to watch Tracy Hines pull away. And Avon goes by, so there is your second and your third and your fourth position card. But a big gap over a straightaway advantage for your leader, Ryan Newman.
I'm a student, and I do a lot of research on the web. So what I wanted, what I really had to have, was a powerful desktop computer. Then someone told me about Dell. I got on the internet. Dell built a desktop just for me. This DirectWay actually costs less. Okay, so I don't always use it for research. Cool.
Discover this Dell Dimension XPS with the next generation Intel Pentium 3 processor at 450 megahertz for $47 a month. With applications optimized for the Pentium 3 processor, you get smoother, cooler, more realistic 3D graphics. Add in great audio, video, and a big monitor, and you can get more lifelike games and a rich internet experience. System also includes 2 games, fast, easy internet setup, and 24-hour tech support. This Dimension with Intel Pentium 3 processor at 450 megahertz, just $47 a month. Monthly payment for other systems vary.
I'd be lost without it. No doubt.
Be direct, Dell.
My first free kick goal, and it was me versus Tony Miola. I remember as soon as I let it go, it felt just right. I beat Tony. I just remember running for the sidelines, jumping as high as I can. I'm Eddie Lewis. Have you seen me?
See him Thursday at 9:30 on ESPN2.
After 52 of 100 laps, Ryan Newman continues to show the way by at least a straightaway over Tracy Hines. There's the third place car, Pat Abel, Gary Heber, and Tony Elliott rounding out the top 5 as you ride with Jason Leffler. If you take a look at the leader, the youngster who is a junior, just finished his junior year at Purdue University in West Lafayette, Indiana, majoring in engineering.
Yeah, and
he's going to have a degree to go along with his racing degree.
And that was Irish Jimmy McCune that he just went around. They used to be teammates on a midget team not too long ago, but right now looks like Newman's got the best of this trio, or Dewsum, as he went around him.
Well, he's a former midget Rookie of the Year, a former Rookie of the Year in this division. There is Tyler looking to the inside of car number 20. That is Tony Elliott. That's the battle for the 5th position.
And then right behind him in the red car is Gamester. Gamester has been a former champion of this division. Elliott, of course, was a sprint car champion last year. Tyler, he's been a champion in this division, or in the sprint car division. So all 3 of these guys have won championships.
Gamester's a midget champion from about 79. So 3 past champions, nose to tail down the backstretch. That's the battle for 5th position.
And they are catching the 4th place of Gary Heber while they're battling each other. There's Heber just now coming in. That push in his car keeps getting worse and worse. And now Elliott and Tyler and Gamester. Oh, look at this. Tyler goes way to the bottom of the racetrack. Still couldn't get around.
Well, of course, most of these drivers now utilize the radio. So Ryan Newman's crew, Fred Eden, his dad, able to tell him what type of a lead that he has. And we've got an engine expiring in turn 1. And that will likely bring out another yellow. As we see the yellow flag being displayed, you can see the puffs of smoke right there. And that is White in number 100. So Paul White, one of the 2 rookies in this evening's race, will be a sideline spectator. He came up from Temple, Texas to race this evening. Yeah, long drive to come up here and have a short race.
Yeah, Turbines Incorporated, of course, giving $300 to the top rookie of the race. And it looks like Kip Beard will probably be that rookie since he was the only other one in the field tonight.
By a process of elimination, he's going to stay out there and pick it up. So 59 laps have now been completed. A big lead is now diminished under the yellow. We'll take this break, come back with more live from Raceway Park.
I've won my share of races, but I didn't do it alone. It takes a great team. And Slick 50 is a part of my team. I'm one of the millions of people who rely on it.
Now there's Slick 50 Synchron synthetic engine treatment with a 100,000-mile limited warranty and pour-and-drive convenience.
It's hard to beat Slick 50. I count on that.
Slick 50 Synchron synthetic, the next generation of engine treatments.
And for peak performance, use Slick 50 Synchron synthetic fuel system treatment.
For everyone who'd rather do it themselves, we make the rugged, dependable Wagner Power Painter with power, control, and versatility like never before. If it needs painting, staining, or sealing, the choice is easy. Get a Wagner and get it done.
Spring is here. Thanks to Thompson's Wood Protector, everyone is getting ready to enjoy their deck, no matter what size it is. Rain, sun, mildew. It's the most powerful Thompson's yet. Thompson's Wood Protector. It never takes a day off.
We weren't the first people to discover this place, but we might be the first people to see it all in one day. Yamaha, solid thinking for a liquid world.
Gary Lee alongside Larry Rice with Stephen Cox in the pits as we come to you live on ESPN Speed World from Indianapolis Raceway Park, remaining under the yellow. A lot of oil has been laid down, so that means the oil dry comes out. Jay Drake makes another pit stop as once again the youngster from South Bend, Indiana, Ryan Newman, has led from the opening green, and each time he builds up a huge lead of over a straightaway, the yellow comes out.
Yes, and I am certainly sure that he did not want Tracy Hines to get any closer than he already was. Tracy Hines is on a tear. He's had a great year this year. He now has about 2 lap cars between he and Ryan Newman. So if I'm Ryan Newman, I'm asking my guys, how close is he and how fast was he running before that yellow flag?
Yeah, and once again, all these guys have radio contact. Let's go back to the pit lane, Stephen.
Boy, I have nothing but bad news. Paul White really worked his way into this field tonight through one of the last chance races. And I'll tell you, when this engine let go, it left no doubt oil all over the place. Take a look at the machine as Paul gets out of the car. He has oil all over the cowling, all over the engine itself, all over everything in this entire pit area. So his night is most definitely over, Gary.
And talk about a guy that's been working hard. J.J. Yaley is now up to 17th position, and the Zarunian's number 67.
Yeah, and that's a long way from 30th, and that's where he started. You can see there's a tremendous amount of oil.
That's a high-tech spreader.
Yeah.
Open the bag
and just put it
dump
out there, right? But that's about all you can do. You've got to get this oil dry down on the oil. Luckily, he was down off of the racetrack. He got under the yellow line early down there in turn number 1. There you can see he headed for the bottom of the racetrack as
and Jason Leffler. Let's eavesdrop some more.
Well, he's not saying anything right now, but you can see what he's doing, exactly what Bob told him. Get some heat in that right rear. Therefore, he's scrubbing that right rear. He's turning it hard left, trying to keep a little bit of heat in that right rear as he goes around the corner.
And these drivers rely so heavily on information just like that. It's almost like a football coach sending in plays from the sideline.
That's a lapped car in front of you. A lapped car in front of you.
Again, the voice of Bob East talking about Dane Carter being a lap car, as Jason now is in the 9th position.
Yeah, he's moved up. He's actually been running there in 9th, 10th position for the last 20 to 25
yeah, I know,
laps.
I could tell it's on top of the track, but not much we can do.
Okay, what he meant there, he's on top of the track. That means that the race car is not really getting down and getting a hold of the racetrack like he'd really like it to. It's kind of sitting on top and skating around a little bit. He would like to try to do something in order to get that thing to get a better bite in the rear end so he can get off the corners. But there really isn't that much adjustment in the car that he can make right now.
I'll tell you what, that Bob East is a Michelangelo of chassis when it comes to setting one of these things up.
Well, yes, and they just didn't have any time with this car. And like I said, even though it's exactly the same, or supposed to be exactly the same, little things make a big difference in this kind of racing. And you can't get in the car and run 3 laps and get it set up perfectly. It's just a tough thing to do. And I think he's doing pretty well just to hang on to 9th place. And, you know, he may get a couple more spots for us all over with.
There's a glimpse up there of Dane Carter, a second-generation driver. Of course, his granddad, Dwayne Carter, was a fine champion, a fine gentleman, ambassador for the sport. His dad, Pancho, was a midget champion, a Silver Crown champion, and a sprint car champion during his career.
Yes, he was. His grandfather was one of the nicest gentlemen I ever met. He was a true gentleman in every respect of the word. He drove for many years.
As soon as he moved his arm.
I'm not sure exactly what Bob was saying there as we tried to eavesdrop again on the conversation from Bob East in the pit area. And it looks like we're going to have the lights of the pace car are out. And we should go green this time as they come down and complete lap 67. And so the field belongs to Brian Newman.
Green.
The green flag is out. You heard Bob East say green, green. We're back to racing. And immediately Tracy Hines gets by one of the lap cars.
Oh, we got a crash. And that is Leffler, looks like. It is Leffler. He got tangled up with somebody back there on that restart.
Still yellow. Go get your spot back.
Now, he can get his spot back. The ruling is that if you stop under the yellow, you must go to the end of the field. He did not stop. He kept the engine running, and therefore they should revert to the position you were when that restart came about. So he's very, very lucky, number 1, that he didn't get crashed a lot worse than that. Number 2, he's going to get moved back up there.
He needs to go to the tail. The yellow is for him.
Yeah, come on and change tires.
Now you heard Janice East, Bob's wife, say you have to go to the back of the pack because the yellow is for you.
Don't pass the pace car.
Let's take a look. He got tagged in the back end. He was just running down the front straightaway, and somebody hit him in the back end, spun him around. Now, the ruling has been, and that's what Janice East was telling him, because the yellow was cause for his spin, he was the cause of the yellow flag, he must go to the tail of the pack.
Well, he's coming in right now, so the yellow remains out.
Well, what's happens, since they have to go to the back of the pack anyway, they're going to come in and change tires. They might have a bad tire, and since he's got to go to the end of the pack, there's no sense in staying out there. He might as well come in and get some new tires and fall in at the end of the pack and see if he can gain some of those positions back.
Well, let's see if we can see where he gets bumped. Right back here, it looks like he almost got it with a nose.
Yeah, he did not get bumped in the back. He was coming up the racetrack. His right rear caught the left front of another car. I didn't see which car it was, but when his right rear caught the left front of that other car he didn't know was out there, it did have half spin and nosed into the outside wall.
Let's go down to Stephen Cox.
In all kinds of difficulties for him too. They're having a hard time getting the right side tire off the right rear. They just now got that task done. They're nearly done with the left rear. So Gary, you pegged it. They might as well take on fresh rubber because they're already in deep enough. Jason's sitting inside the car. We can see him just making a little bit of adjustment on his belts. Remember, they had to bring in all of his equipment to put inside this race car because it was not set up for him. It was set up for Dave Steele. Not only did they put spacers behind the seat, but they had to change the seat itself to move him a little bit closer. Remember, when he went out qualifying, Gary, he had to reach all the way to the furthest extent of his arms just to grab onto the steering wheel.
Bobby surveying the situation down there.
Yeah, they have lost a lap already, so he's, for all intents and purposes, out of the running in this race. Once they went around him, he had lost one complete lap, so he's going to be down at least one lap. It looks like he's going to lose another lap before they get around.
Over and over again.
And that was Janice East. I didn't catch exactly what she said, but they have lost at least one lap.
We need to get out there because they're coming by. You're going to go a lap down now.
I think this is going to put them 2 laps down, won't it?
Well, I think so. I think it seems to me like they've been passed twice by the leaders, so they should be 2 laps down. So that really puts them out of any contention to win this race, or even finish in the top 15 or 20 probably.
So finally he gets away after a lengthy pit stop. Apparently he tangled with the number 18 of Doug Dodaro.
2 laps down, 29 laps to go.
Let's go back to the pit lane, Stephen.
Boy, you know why they lost 2 laps on that, Gary? These guys are not like IndyCar crews. They don't have all the automated equipment. They don't have all the stuff to come in for a 10-second pit stop. So whenever you come out to Indianapolis Raceway Park and your Silver Bullet Series car ends up with a flat, you do it the old-fashioned way. You get it out and you crank on it with good old elbow grease, and it takes a long time.
You know, I'm surprised they don't have air guns.
Well, normally you don't make a pit stop. I mean, if you make a pit stop, in most cases, you're out of contention anyway. This just happened to be a yellow flag, and if they had all the necessary equipment, maybe they could have gotten in and out without losing a lap.
Of course, the air gun, if you had one, wouldn't be where you needed it.
That's right. It'd be the wrong spot. So, but it just is not necessary. Hardly ever do you make a pit stop in this kind of racing. They had 150 lap races here a few years ago when I was running, and in that case, some of the people did make pit stops and make them on purpose, but not in just a 100 lap race.
Of course, this facility is now owned by the National Hot Rod Association. We thank them for this fine grandstand they've given us here. And of course, this track has been in existence since 1961. As the green flag flies, they complete lap number 73. So a lot of laps still to go. And let's see if Ryan can hang on. He got a good restart. 1 lap car now between first and second. And let's see what Tracy Hines can do with that one.
Well, Tracy Hines got around 1. Now then he's going to get the other.
That's like Jimmy McCune.
That's Pat Abold in that blue car, the second car behind him. He also is trying to get around those lap cars and get up there and challenge as he runs in 3rd position.
And there is Gary Heber in that yellow and red number 66.
And Heber probably benefited the most by the yellow. His right front was getting so hot, he was pushing worse and worse. This should have given it a chance to cool down and him a chance to probably run faster for the next 20 laps or so.
But just as it was before that yellow, the gap continues to widen between first and second.
Yeah, Newman is really on a rail. He has that car really dialed in. As Abold still trying to get around Jimmy McCune. He's in 3rd spot. Wants to get up there, at least have a chance to go after Tracy Hines.
You can see the gap right there between first and second. They complete lap number 76. 24 laps to go.
Now that Abold, there's nobody between the first 3 positions. There's Brian Tyler now. He is underneath Heber, and now he takes that spot. So Brian Tyler's moved up.
Well, let's see if Tyler now can put some distance between his white 69 and the yellow and red number 66.
Well, Gary Heber's picked up that push. It's a very, very bad push once again.
It looks to me like maybe, just maybe, Tracy Hines has closed in just a bit as we continue to watch Gary Heber.
Yeah, Heber's Mike Ordway is a lap car, but right now it appears that he's running as fast, if not faster, than Gary Heber, especially through the middle of the corner. Look how fast or how slow Heber is really through the middle of that corner.
Well, J.J. Yaley has had a very eventful day as they had to replace the clutch in the 67 car. As you go back on board, he had been in 17th position on the restart. Let's see how much he moves that steering wheel, Larry.
Yeah, you can see he's still quite a ways back in this field, and he's not sawing the wheel back and forth too much. A little bit right there. You can tell the car's very loose getting off the corner because he had to really steer that car because it came a long way around getting off of that corner. Whoa, a big crash right in front of him. We were almost in the middle of that one.
3 cars are involved. Make that 4 cars involved over there. As we go back to yellow, there is the number 2 car. Leffler back in it, the 40 car of Knopfsinger, and that number 6 of Jay Drake.
Wow, what a terrible break. Jason Leffler just couldn't catch a break all night long. From a blown engine to a car he hadn't been in. Now then, probably the 3rd incident of the night for him. It's just been a tough night for him.
Time to climb out and take the walk back to the infield.
Yeah, there's not much you can do. Jay Drake, he's taking a look at his car to see what the damage was. And Knopfsinger, let's see if we can take a look. Looked like Knopfsinger. You can see him back there in that black car about halfway back in the field. He's clear down there. McCord hit the wall up there on the outside of him, but he's way on the bottom of that field. Oh, looked like he just tapped, looked like the Dero got a little sideways, and he tapped the Dero, and then he slid right back up the racetrack. Leffler had no place to go. Jay Drake had no place to go. The 29 car, the 29 Bentley Warren barely made a by on the outside. I couldn't think who it was there for a second.
Bentley Warren is driving the 29 car of Seymour Enterprises, a car that's won many times in this division in the capable hands of Kenny Schrader. You can see that JJ is on the brakes trying to avoid it, and he just slides by on the high side.
He barely made it through that thing. It was after he got by that everybody else ran into him.
And you talk about well, I was going to say ageless. I'm not sure that's the word, but I tell you what, just how long has Bentley Warren been driving?
I don't know, but he's still
collecting.
fast.
Is he collecting Social Security yet?
I don't know, but he's still pretty fast. He's been very quick just about every place that he's run in these Silver Crown cars. Tonight he's not running quite as well as he usually does, but he's still very quick. As you can see, a lot of liquids, a lot of fuel out there on the racetrack right now.
Well, there he is right there. So we remain under yellow. 82 laps are now complete, so we'll have a real shootout when we come back to Raceway Park.
There are at least 100 questions every home buyer should ask.
We're down to Stephen Cox with Jason.
Thanks, Larry. Boy, Jason, when it rains, it pours. It looked to me like you almost got caught up in this as a victim.
Well, yeah, I was a victim, but I guess I should have quit while I was ahead. You know, I got pretty lucky there on the front straightaway, and I was 2 laps down just trying to get points. I feel bad for Johnny Vance and David Steele wrecking his car, you know. That's racing. You take the good with the bad, but, you know, tonight's been a tough night. We'll go to Kokomo tomorrow and kick some butt.
Well, you got a smile on your face, and you look to be healthy still.
Yeah, I feel good, so I'll probably be a little sore tomorrow, but, you know, that's the way it goes.
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you.
Typical attitude. Okay, that race is behind us. We've got one tomorrow, and there we take a look at the top 5. 87 of 100 laps. Ryan Newman leading Tracy Hines, and this is what Tracy wanted. This is not what Ryan wanted. This yellow flag, we could have a shootout.
Well, we will find out right now with only about 13 laps to go if Tracy Hines has anything at all for Ryan Newman. And believe me, if that car has anything at all, Tracy Hines will give it all it's got.
Well, Tracy, of course, won that USAC Stoops Freightliner sprint car race at Terre Haute, his first victory in a sprint car on dirt. He's becoming very versatile, and he could go after a hat trick here if he could win this race tonight and win the midget race tomorrow night. It's only been done twice in the history of USAC where drivers won 3 straight races in 3 different divisions. The late Rich Vogler did it, and of course Jack Hewitt did it last year in the 4 Crown all on the same day.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see if he can pull it out.
Speaking of sprint cars, hey, we're going to be there for that one. The half or the quarter mile, High Bank Anderson Speedway. Next week, midnight Eastern time. You can catch all the action here on ESPN2. The Thunder Series goes to Anderson for the Tyson 50. That, of course, is a warm-up for that grueling, grinding 500-lap Little 500, which will be staged next Saturday night up in Anderson. We've driven in that 500 laps on a quarter-mile track with 33 sprint cars.
Makes you very tired. Meanwhile, back here, let's watch and see if Tracy Hines, he's going to go after him right away, right down to the bottom of the racetrack.
89 laps complete, an 11-lap shootout between 2 young lions. The 2 young guns, one from South Bend, Indiana, one from Newcastle, Indiana. But look at Ryan, back to about a 5-car length advantage off the corner. 90 laps complete, 10 laps to go.
And Abold is back there in that blue car. He fell back a few feet, but Tracy Hines tried to get under him on the restart. That's the only chance he thought he was going to have, and he looks like he was probably right, because once he didn't get it on the first corner, Newman has pulled out into several car length lead again.
Well, now we'll see just what a veteran driver this youngster can be, because now is when you start hearing things in the race car. It's talking to you. Now's when you have to maintain that concentration. There's a good battle for third position.
Ryan Tyler right down on the bottom of the racetrack trying to get around Pat Abel. He seems to be working very well right on the bottom of the racetrack. Abel's pushing up just a little bit there in the middle of the corner. Tyler just can't quite get up far enough to get around him, though. He's going to try once again.
Takes a look to the inside, stays very low in turn one.
Abel's getting a nice run off. He gets up high, and he gets a run down that bank, down the straightaways, and he gets a good run off the corners and is able to hang on to that third position.
Well, back up in front, about the same distance between first and second. Now 93 laps complete, 7 laps to go. As you look at that gap between third and fourth, about a car or 2-car length advantage now.
Yeah, Tyler's still trying to find a way to get around Abel. Abel is running kind of an odd pattern around here as he diamonds the corner. Now that he gets the back end loose, looks like he got very, very loose, and he gave Tyler a big shot on him. Tyler couldn't take advantage of him, wasn't quite close enough.
Oh, and he slides.
Both of them a little bit loose. It looks like Abel just gets looser and looser, but Tyler goes in so low that he doesn't have a chance to get a run on him coming off of the corner.
Looked like the red sprint cars in Eldora.
Just about. They're both getting looser and looser. They know, though, with only a few laps to go, this is no time to save your tires. You got to go for it. Meanwhile, the 51 car of Gamesters snuck up on both of them while they're sliding sideways.
Until tonight, coming up next, we're running a few minutes late in our 100-lap Coca-Cola 100 live from Indianapolis Raceway Park, and there is the pass for position. So Tyler goes to third, and here comes Gamester.
Yeah, Gamester's, I think he's running faster than both of those guys right now. He just has to find a way around with only a few laps to go. He could stand a chance to get back up, clear up the third spot.
Well, we're watching the best action on the racetrack right now, because up in front, Ryan Newman has almost a half-turn advantage over Tracy Hines, and Newman about to record his first ever win in the Coors Light Silver Bullet Series. And this will give him the points lead going into next Friday night's. There's his mom. There's Diane, his mom, watching. His sister Jamie is down there as well. His dad Greg, the kind of crew chief for his racing effort. With 2 laps to go, the white flag out the next time by.
Well, this young man's been knocking on the door for a couple of years. He really likes this division. He's been up front. We saw earlier down there at Gateway last year. He was right behind the 2 guys that finished first and second, and he's be a very deserving winner if he can last just 4 more corners.
Well, as we told you, this is the team that Jeff Gordon won the title for back in 1991. So the team has some good experience. They have a championship under their belt. And it looks to me like this could be a team to reckon with for the championship this year. Final corner, off the corner, dual checkered flags, and Ryan Newman from South Bend, Indiana. There's Jamie, his sister. There's his mom, Diane. And he leads it flag to flag as he takes the victory here in the Coca-Cola 100.
This is a real family affair. That's one of the great things about this sport. Families all get involved.
There's Greg in the blue right in the middle. There's Greg, his dad, in the blue denim shirt. As the Fred Eads team, with congratulations all around the victory lap. And so what a great ride for the youngster from South Bend.
Well, it's a terrific, terrific win for this young man. He's been trying for so long, and he's done a great job here tonight. There was never any doubt he was in control.
Of course, we saw him finish second the last time we were on Thunder from Louisville. We'll watch him next Wednesday night from Anderson and see what he can do there with the sprint cars. So our congratulations to Ryan Newman, who takes the win over Tracy Hines. So